and I visited my friend back in the square, and he's like, "Oh, when are you leaving?" I said, "Maybe a couple of hours." He's like, "I think you should leave now. The police have been back this morning, and they're talking with the boss, and they had photographs of you and saying, oh, if you can just keep him till lunchtime or dinner time, we'll pay you and we'll pick him up." And so I thought, oh, this sounds like trouble. I'll just leave. And so I came back to good old Yazd. And by the time I came back about 1 o'clock in the morning, all my bags had been taken from the hotel and the police were waiting for me. And they informed me that I was under arrest and handcuffed me, and which I thought was unnecessary.
Heavy-handed.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, we can just clear this mess up pretty quickly. But they took me back to police station and asked me a few questions and made a statement of where I'd been that night. And then they took me to the cells, and just a very small room with nothing in it, just some woolen blankets. And they got me to sleep on the floor. And so, it wasn't too bad, but
And they didn't feed you either, really, did they?
No, but they kept waking me up by opening the shutter of the door and looking in, and then, but so the next morning, they just handcuffed me again and got me in the car and drove me all the way back to Isfahan, which I thought was pretty, I don't know,
was
strange.
That becoming unnecessary, or
Yeah,
how many hours was that?
Back to Isfahan?
Yeah.
Not many, they drove fast. And then finally he got a bit more chummy and just asking me questions about New Zealand, and then all of a sudden he's like, I don't know what they want you for. You seem like a really nice guy. And I thought, and they set up the video camera, much like this, and they start filming me and start asking me questions. But to begin with, the guy comes in and he's like, "I know you know Farsi," and he just start talking to me in Farsi, and I was just like, "Well, I don't know Farsi. I don't have a clue what you're saying." So they got a translator, and then they start asking me questions, and they still wouldn't tell me what it was all about. And they're like, "We know you know Farsi. What's your interest in Farsi? You signed up for a Farsi language course." And I was like, "No. But your name is on the list." And I was like, "What name?" "Your name." And so they asked me a bunch of questions, and I don't know what. Just, where did you stay? Did you stay at these hotels? And they named off some hotels. Like, "No, but your name is on the list." But they'd just make up lots of questions, I think, just to
try and
you.
trick you. And
I think your name is on every list.
Yeah.
So that was some people had their camera stolen and their computer, and the Korean girl who was in your dormitory said you left in a hurry, and so she thought you maybe stole them. But this was the day I left Isfahan, and I knew they wanted me before that, so it's like a convenient sort of excuse just to bring me. And so by about 9 o'clock, they decided I could check into a hotel. And so I'd been all day with these dudes, and they hadn't fed me at all, and I'd only had like small juice, and so I was pretty exhausted and fed up. And then they said, "Oh, we're keeping your passport and your camera and all your photos, and you have to come back in the morning at 8 o'clock." 8 o'clock in the morning, and the guys were pretty friendly. One of them was interested in New Zealand slang, and he was quite friendly, but you could still tell he didn't trust me. And then I had to wait for 5 hours, not doing anything. And then some shabby arsehole came along and didn't introduce himself and just started asking questions, just the same as yesterday. And I was just nearly got angry. And he was asking like, "Oh, you studied electronics, and where's Massey University? And I said, I didn't study at Massey University. Where'd you study? He stopped asking questions then and made phone calls, and then I had to wait around for like another hour or two. And then they said, okay, you can go back to your hotel, but we're keeping your passport and your camera. And it's like, what are you keeping it for? Just give it back to me. And there's no reason for me to be here. And I said, we'll call you tomorrow when you need to come in. And so the next day I was sleeping in. I was pretty exhausted. I got sick. By the last few days I was there. And they woke me up in the morning at my hotel, and then they just gave me back my passport and my camera. And I saw my friend, and he said, the police came around to my house at 7 o'clock this morning and asking all these questions about the people I had photographs of and who they were, and have I had any girlfriends. He had condoms on him when he was arrested. He's been seen with some girls, and he just told
Sex
them.
before marriage being illegal, just for the viewers.
No, just being with girls is
Not on.
Yeah, but most just want to practice English, and so I was feeling pretty bad then because he'd copped a bit of grief from the cops because they'd been in the days before when I was arrested. He didn't know I was in Isfahan, and just saying to him I was a spy and what are you doing being friends with him, he's just using you. You shouldn't have had him stay at your place. He knows like the city too well, and just making up all this stuff and just telling him like next time he comes into the shop you got to tell us and let us know like if he's a spy or and just so then I had to leave Isfahan again, and they'd also said like where I'd been the night before because they'd still been following me, and so I thought, this is just stupid.
Yeah.
So
Just wondering how it's changed your attitude to Iran, being in Iran.
yeah, it definitely changed the attitude. Like if you're only here for a month you think, the situation's not great, but compared to some of the other countries people seem like they're pretty happy, but you soon learn like the circumstances they're under and the risks they take still, and
Just to talk to us.
people are so friendly. I got pretty comfortable, and it's probably a bit naive about the security here, and they probably watch you more than you think,
Yeah.
and then you feel pretty depressed about how much the people are depressed.
Have you contacted your embassy about this?
Yeah, I called the embassy when they opened after the weekend,
What did they say?
and he says, it's strange, usually they just reserve that treatment for the British and the Americans.
Yeah! See ya! What a legend. Ryan has come here from... He started in Laos, didn't he?
Yes,
Or
and he
Cambodia.
got his bike in Vietnam, and then has ridden up through Taiwan or something. I'm not quite sure how he got his bike to Taiwan, but he did. And has then come across China through the stands to somehow end up in Iran, and is on his way through Iraq because he's insane to Turkey and maybe Syria, and then to work in England, maybe.
Yeah,
We hope he
that's
makes
his
it.
plan. I wonder if we'll see him.
Yes.